Want to know the answer? The answer is this. Have I enjoyed life more since leaving Bristol City Car Meets? The answer is yes. That's the video done. See you later. Only joking. If you're staying around for the long run, you like the juicy details, all the facts, all the truths, all that's going on, stay tuned. You've had your answer, but this video has got more. So stay tuned. We're about to release the bomb of knowledge. Let's settle it straight before we start. If you're easily offended, if you're a bit of a potato, if you live under a rock and you don't know what's really been going on or what is going on, you're about to find out. If you don't like it, don't watch the rest of the video. If you don't like me, don't watch the video. I don't know why you're here. You're only making my YouTube somewhat successful. But no, I'm only kidding. Do you know what? I have big love for everyone, whether you hate me or you love me. This is just the story of the page. What's happened, how it even began. So you're going to learn everything. We're going to split it into a few stages. You're going to learn the history of that page. You're going to learn about the breakdown of what's happened. You're going to learn about what has changed with Beyond City in the past year since I've left it. And we're going to discuss how life's been for me, which is the main point of the video, really. So you've already had the answer up front, but you're going to get more details and juicy facts coming up. So this is a no bullshit, no lies, 100% truthful account of everything that I perceive has happened and that is going on, with my opinion in there, of course. And this is quite simply just to be a closing chapter to the BCCMUK part of my life, I guess. But do you know what? There's no dislike and hatred towards the name. There's no disrespect or hatred towards people that attend or people that enjoy it or people that go. There's not really anything. There's definitely an emptiness inside still from the hurt that was probably caused by the way things ended with the page, but it's become a point now where it's just doesn't really matter, you know, and things are so much better, which you'll hear about later in the video anyway. But I guess I always hold it a little bit to my heart. The thing that I guess upsets me and triggers me a little bit more about it all is I still hold the name to heart, and I still somewhat feel responsible about things that are currently going on within that community, and I feel like I'm partly to blame for that, for previous things, which we'll explain about in a moment, but also because I'm the one who made it back in the day. And, you know, for some of these people viewing this, they've never even heard of me, and for some people, or a lot of people viewing this, they know who I am and what part I played in this page. So let's get started, firstly, on the history of BCCMUK. So the history. The history, here we go. So I'm going to summarise it super sweet. Now, back in 2015, a while ago, 2016 time, I was very young. That's pretty obvious. I wish I was probably that age now, so I'm not looking the best for it with my current age at the current moment. But anyway, as we digress, it began back as a group that I had started with two friends of mine from Dorset, which in fact I still see today. Blessed. Lovely bunch of guys. I'm very lucky that they still have the time for me and still want to be friends with me, with what the page has become, unfortunately, although mostly since I've left. So anyway, Beyond City, believe it or not, and this is no crap, this could be proved online if it really had to be, started as it was Southwest Coastal Car Meets, yeah? And that started with me down in Dorset. That was me and three lads doing it. Mostly up at Taunton. You probably can't remember it, some people may do, and that was what it was. It was static meets once a month. I then moved away from Dorset to Bristol to study, and those guys were going to be in Dorset, so we made the decision. They just said to me, look, Lewis, take it on with you and make it your own thing. So I took it on with me, and obviously moving to a city, I thought, what can we call the name? Because it's no longer going to be a sort of a coastal southwest group. So I came up with the idea of obviously calling it BCCMUK. Now, the reason why I'm not calling it the name it is because throughout the whole process of this, anyone involved, etc., no names are mentioned. We're not dropping any names in here. we're being adults about it. We don't drop names, you know. We don't do that. I don't do that anyway. I'm not going to drop names and be rude about people or rude about certain things. And the reason why I'm calling the page something else is because I don't think it deserves recognition within the current climate that page is currently within. And I don't feel it should be advertised with what's going on at the moment, although things are on the change, which will be discussed again later on. So yeah, I began it, and do you know what? The first few years of Beyond City before lockdown were difficult. The aim of it was to do one meet a month on a Sunday, I think it was. That was always the idea, Sundays. We always start with Sundays. And it was once a month all over the southwest. So we're talking like down to Dorset, over to Devon Way, up to Gloucester. I mean, all over. And you'll remember in the most recent years during the lockdown, things like that, it was all over the place. Madness. So yeah, it was mad. And do you know what? It was hard because we had some meets where there was actually some points in time where I actually almost wanted to give it up. Now, this was me running it by myself for quite a few years, and it was hard. I put so much time and effort into it. It was unbelievable to try and get it somewhere, and it was difficult. It was super, super hard. It was just crazy. Sometimes we'd be travelling down to places like in Exeter and things, which was new to us, and we'd have no one turn up. And I wanted to throw the towel in so many times. It was so difficult. But do you know what? We powered through, and around the period of lockdown, which is 2020, I think, sort of 2019, 2020, whatever, it grew like mad. Ridiculous, in fact. Now, we still had the sort of ethos of having a monthly static meet on a Sunday, and I think it then began to become 2 weekends a month, as far as I was aware, back during that COVID time. Now, you guys, all you avid fans, will remember that Beyond City, again, is never going to be the biggest, never was the biggest, but definitely we made a stand during those few years when I ran it myself. Now, we can remember the big Western meets, the big Weymouth meets with the smart car, and all those sort of things. The meets were madness, and at that point in time, I had a fine balance between control and sensible meets. It was all right, it was good, everyone was loving it, it was a good vibe, it was excellent. Now, throughout that time, as we progressed through, the page just become too big, and I couldn't cope. My mental health was in ruins. I was up there studying alone in Bristol at uni, and it was mad. It was hard. It was difficult, and I needed help. So we took on a variety of people over I think it was maybe the 2 or 3 years until I left, with relative success and unsuccess. And that is when I took on a chap who wasn't really from the car scene. He's attended the meets and wanted to come in and help with business. Wanted to come in with new ideas, help with maybe making a website and building things up like that. Now, this person I trusted, after previous friendship-related issues at younger ages that was quite scarring. It was a big move. And unfortunately, previous people that I allowed onto the page had already let me down already. So it was a big move, but this guy came in, and the aim was to start it as a business, just maybe start looking to do sort of paid events down the line, and just to sort of help with the online presence behind the scenes. I would sort of keep the face to it and continue things on. So as things grew, we sort of grew that into a partnership, and sort of we always had that sort of split between who was doing what sort of role we played to our strengths and weaknesses. So yeah, Beyond City became something that was weekly as time progressed. It was almost like an addiction, and it was growing exponentially every week. Unbelievable. I mean, these people were with us, whether we were in Bristol, we were in Weymouth, we were in Exeter, wherever we are, people were there, and it was mad. Now, over those years, this is the past few years, yeah, it grew and grew and grew. And the problem is it got to a point where the meets were getting too big, so there was no locations possible. It was causing absolute carnage on the roads. And it got to a point where Beyond City was known for having static and Mexico-style things going on. So the meets always went as this, and you'll remember it. very clearly. We had a static, no, in fact, I even lied. We had a pre-meet, which I brought in more later in the stage. We had a pre-meet for people to sort of meet up before the meet, just to sort of chill, make friends, blah, blah, blah. It was a small group of people, lovely, clean, superb, mint, beautiful. It was good. We then moved into the meet itself, which ran through to normally about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and that normally involved car limbo, which came later in the stage, which I still have, by the way, which I will be bringing out again next year. I did a little bit this summer. Yeah, so we did the car limbo. It was fab. And then for those that wanted the static element, it would run till a certain time, and then we'd go off somewhere for a bit of Mexico and all that sort of thing. It was just what was sort of gravitating towards the car scene at the time. Now, I'm an avid fan of both, don't get me wrong. We do love a bit of Mexico. Static's also great. I'm not against it at all, so please don't think throughout this video I'm against, you know, sends and skids and zags. I don't mind, but I know that the complications that involves is quite crazy. So that was all good. Beyond City was in its prime. It was running smooth. It was good. It was super good. And the growth was ridiculous. The amount of stickers on cars was madness. People with jumpers was just everywhere. It was growing like crazy. Now, it got to a point where it became too much for me personally, within my personal life and the rest of it. So sometimes we were doing 2 meets or even 3 on some weekends. Now, what I couldn't see so much at the time, but I am forever sorry about, if you are watching, people who have been affected by this, I am greatly sorry. And I mean it, I am greatly sorry. What I didn't see at the time was that we were ruining. It got to a point where it was like a curve, yeah? It was like a curve. It was, you know, improving the car scene, bringing people together, and then it started to sort of plateau, and then it started to drop towards the later stage of my ownership. And what it was that I couldn't see at the time is we were ruining property, litter, people doing burnouts, etc., companies, property, because of the scale of what was going on. We were just, yeah, it was just too much. It was just stressing on resources and causing a lot of issues, especially with the police. And the thing is, as I was the forefront of this, the police were snatching onto that very, very strongly. And as police will normally know, if they can go for the top gun, the rest falls. Well, that's what they thought anyway when it comes to that page. So, yeah, the problem was we were basically doing meets all the time. They were at such a large scale that if anyone else had a meet on, no one would go. They would just go straight to Beyond City. Beyond City was where people were at. And actually, when I look back on it, it was very selfish of myself and everyone else involved with running the meets. And it was selfish of us as Beyond City, but especially myself, to be doing stuff all the time at such a scale, because it was just ruining local hotspots for people to meet up, and it was just basically mean that no one else could do meets because everyone would be coming to ours, and it was just destroying the car scene in quite a bad way, although equally at the same time we're still giving people something to go to, so it's sort of 50-50 on opinions on that. But I'll admit it, hands up, we weren't helping the car scene, the external car scene. Our own car scene was going great, but the car community around it was having difficulties because of it. So I am forever sorry for every single person that indeed I caused this problem with, because I lost a lot of friendships over it. I lost a lot of good people over it. And I don't know what I was thinking at the time. But yeah, it got to a point where, as I was saying, meets were massive, it was weekly, it was crazy. But the problem was, as this was progressing, the pressure from the police was becoming more and more prominent to me, quite severely. And I was getting sort of harassment and things happening to me which were borderline harassment, really, from the police. It was quite bad. And there was a couple of officers that were taking it upon themselves to really do stuff that wasn't really legit, sort of abusing their powers as such, as the police mostly do a lot of the time. I mean, some will say maybe I deserve it. I mean, yeah, I was there on the megaphone giving that out and things, and you should always understand that things you give out come back to you. It's how life is. But it was just this continuous, downfall. I actually find some nights I was getting to car meets and I was just in tears one night because I just could not cope with everything that was going on. My head was just an absolute mess. And it got to a point that the August leading up to my dismissal, or me choosing to leave, that would have been September 20, yeah, so about August 21 was when we had the biggest meet, as far as I'm aware, I've ever seen Beyond City ever have now. I don't know if you remember that. It was just over a year ago now, in August. We had one in Bristol that was so big that we went from Cribs to Filton and we could not fit everyone in the car park and the roads. Madness, absolute madness. And I remember that meet, flipping madness that was. Anyway, we ended up going all the way over to the Downs, and it was absolutely, the whole Downs, the big bit of the Downs was literally full. It was just cars everywhere, complete craziness going on. I was just thinking, mate, this is mad. But I knew in the back of my mind that, wow, I'm going to get problems from this, and I did. And it was along the lines of I was going to be facing some quite serious time, some quite serious consequences if I chose to continue on the path I was going. And the problem was, I soon realised, as much as that I have been very great people through the BCCMUK team, followers and everyone surrounding that page, I quickly found out that actually I was mentally killing myself for people that didn't really care. That's the thing nowadays with the car scene, is people just expect to turn up, efforts ran, and go home. They don't care who's involved, who's running it, and who's liable for whatever happens. They just want to turn up, do their thing, and go. And that's fair enough. That's exactly what currently goes on in the current, car community. People invite me up to their meets, I go up there, get my video, and go home. It's just how it is. Not that I don't care, but a lot of people just don't care. So, there was this pressure to keep Beyond City going, but at the same time I was falling apart inside and I didn't know what to do. Life was just dropping all around me. I was having absolutely mad times at uni, and the things were just so stressful. I just think, it was not good, and that is what led to it all, a combination of many things. Now, obviously leaving or trying to find a way out of that is very difficult anyway. It was just unbelievable. Just wanted out. So I think it was September the 12th or something, 2021. I wanted out. Now the transition into leaving didn't really go as what it should have gone. Now, I was very messed up in the head, very upset, very hurt, as was the other gent running the page with me, of course. It's a hard thing to deal with on a friendship level as well. It's hard to deal with that. Now, the agreement was, mark my words, the agreement was that I would always have the social media platforms due to the fact that they were what I made. And actually, at that stage in time, the WhatsApp groups, etc., Snapchat, etc., was the way forwards for the meets. Facebook and stuff was sort of a bygone age, and everyone's using WhatsApp and Telegram and whatever for locations now. So it all fell apart, and I'm not perfect at all. It was difficult, and my head was in a mess. But it ended up being that I took my Instagram, which I've still got. Although I did make that. My YouTube, obviously there was no interest in that from the other guy, because it's my page, and as far as I'm aware, he doesn't do too much or very little content, obviously, so there's no real need for that. And obviously that's what's led into my new success. Blissful, we love it. And unfortunately, my Facebook, still to this day, I would love back, by the way, you know who you are. My Facebook page was taken from underneath me, which was very hard to handle. And I felt like I was quite betrayed on that, when the agreement was to have me have the socials and then take the rest. Because Beyond City wasn't really based on the socials anymore. Beyond City was based on that WhatsApp group following and all the rest of it, which he took. And, he made all of that, and that was what that was. So in a way, I felt like it was almost sort of taken from me, part of my sort of page that I had made over all those years. And that Facebook page is still something I'd love back that they don't even use really anymore. I would love that back. That would really help me grow my media page. But you know, we don't talk. So, you know, I don't think he's in any rush to want to aid me with giving me that back, which is down to him. I would imagine if we spoke about it, I'm sure there'd be a way around it. But, you know, there hasn't been much of a sort of conversation between either of us in trying to sort that out. Not that it matters too much now anyway. But yeah, so I managed to keep most of my socials. My Facebook was taken and off. He went with the page. Now, you guys that do attend still and enjoy it. Not a problem at all. Just remember that you guys are very lucky, because Beyond City, hear me out, Beyond City shouldn't exist right now. Should not exist. My plans were, with my withdrawal from the social media platforms into my new venture, was to turn Beyond City, the current owner, may take some advice on this, might help you out by the way. The plan was to basically stop running meets and attend others. So the plan was to change the name of Beyond City but keep the following going, and we would go and attend some really great meets. We have these big amazing collabs, and it just means that onus, you know, and that ownership of it is not based solely on one person, which was i.e. me, although we're both in it. It was sort of, I was the face of it, do you know what I mean, that sort of thing. So yeah, that was the plan. So he has continued it on against my wishes, which again is probably a little bit of a reason why you'll see on social media I'm quite out there about outing them for the wrong things that they're doing. Now, when they are doing things great, when their meets are smooth, when things are going good, I don't hear bad things coming through my social media, because I get an absolute ton of messages and all the rest of it. When nothing bad's going on, I don't say anything. But when I see stuff like people getting attacked and assaulted at meets and all sorts of ridiculous things, it doesn't happen. I'm going to stand up against that, because unfortunately, we're all valued and allowed an opinion, of course. And equally, I made that stuff, so I still feel like I get a say on that page and what it's become. And if you don't like it, it's as simple as that. We're all entitled to opinion, deal with it. Do you know what I mean? We all agree and disagree with things in the car scene, in life. It's just how it is. Deal with it. At the end of the day, I made the page, so I'm not going to change my perspective on what I want to say about it. It ain't going to change. Because at the end of the day, it shouldn't even exist, in my opinion, because I wanted to stop it there and then. Because the problem was, it was getting out of control. And as we're going to discuss in just a bit, it has got out of control quite badly at times. And that was the problem. That was the issue. We're going to talk about that on the next subject, in fact. But yeah, that was the problem. Just really, like, it should not be going on. Beyond City should not be here. It should be under a new sort of movement, a new sort of name. But it isn't. It's been carried on against my wishes, and unfortunately, I still somewhat feel responsible for that. You know, it's a nightmare. And it wasn't I was going to ditch the community off. It wasn't I was going to, you know, throw everyone away. The community of BCCMUK would have been able to have enjoyed something else, which would have been just as wholesome. I know how much people have loved me being there and what I brought to the meets, and it would have just been just as good, you know. But it just would have had no onus on BCCM as such, and just more. And I think this as well is it brings communities together, and that's what's really important as well in the car scene. And we did damage a lot of local clubs and groups will have nothing to do with me still because of it, and will have nothing to do with Beyond City whatsoever. And it's a shame, because it shouldn't be like that, but unfortunately that is how it's become. So that is a section about the sort of history, very briefly, about the page and leaving. And obviously now we're here a year later, and I'm going to discuss, I know it's part of history, but I'm going to discuss what sort of happened in the past year and how I'm feeling now at the end, to summarise. So that is a few details about Bristol City Car Meets UK. So we're now going down the lines of responsibility. Now, I feel freaking responsible for everything that's happened to that page since I left it. Not only because it's out of my control, but because it was against my wishes for the Beyond City name and the ethos around it to carry on. Now, I want to mention one thing. Over the 5 years, and this is legit by the way, over the 5 years of running that page when I ran it, we had, as far as I can remember, incidents-wise, in the whole 5 years, we had maybe 2, 3 at the very most. There's only 2 I can remember. We had a rear end bump and we had a smart car. You'll probably see it on YouTube. Go and check it out. But maybe I can download it and put it here actually. We had a smart car go over the harbour almost, which was pretty mad to be fair. We only had 2 instances. Now, before we go defending them, I'm not hating on the fact there's been issues, because there is. And I've just said there, look, I had a few of them over the few years. We're not saying that car meets and events go without problems. We're not saying that. But when it becomes a bi-weekly or monthly occurrence, then you do have something quite wrong. Now, can you guess how many instances, as far as I'm aware, there has been with Bristol City car meets this past year? I don't actually know either, because I haven't been there, but I have been made aware of many of them. Now, we're not talking 2 or 3. We're talking upwards of almost 5 to 10 different instances. Now, obviously, things happen, but when it's a sort of a bi-weekly or monthly occurrence, it does beg to question what's really going on there, and are things really being... I don't know. What is going on? I still question what is going on. I don't understand, really. But when I was back running the events, I had some sort of element of control of the uncontrollable with a megaphone. It was a great tool for people who couldn't drive or I thought were being erratic. We'd just say, look, park up, don't do it, stop, whatever. Do you know what I mean? But I just don't, I'm not there, so I don't know, but I've just seen, instances like this, really? What's that about? And then we see this, look, here. Do you know what I mean? And then here, and here, yeah, as well. And here. And what I'm saying is things do happen, but they do need to pull their finger out and resolve what's causing these crashes and fundamental issues, because it's dangerous. And do you know what? Unfortunately, as much as people don't like it, unfortunately, and do you know what? I was part of it. Don't be shooting the gun at me. I was part of it. I did the right thing, got myself out of it, because I was part of it, yeah. What I was trying to say is now the car scene in Bristol's sort of ruined. More to come with that at the end. Is ruined or going to be ruined very shortly into 2023. Not good. Because of stuff like that. Nah. And when I see there's stuff like this, where there's damage to police cars and vans, regardless, you can't use the excuse if it was someone who wasn't at the meet. It's the people that are coming. The people that you're sort of enticing to your meets. It's just not needed. Do you know what I mean? It's just not good. There's other examples of meets. There was one in Wales, I think last weekend, it was, literally, a very serious incident. It happens, but, come on, guys, sort it out. It's just ruining the car scene for everyone. And I'm not talking about the sends, and the dirty burnouts and, getting rid of your tyres and burn them up. I'm not saying that. Again, that's a whole different kind of worms when you open that up. There's people 50-50 on that. And I love both static and all that, so don't even get me started on that. That's a conversation for another day. And I don't think there's ever going to be an end point in that, because people are just like that when it comes to that. You can't move. What I'm saying is it's just not good to be having repetitive incidences. And, and when a page, as known as Big Car Crash Club UK, it sort of says something. It's just not good. And, the thing is, the name has a stigma, and the stigma is not good, and it just needs to go. I'm not saying get rid of it. I'm just saying maybe the owner, who's probably watching this, hi by the way, I would refresh your thoughts, refresh your plans, and maybe have a complete restructure of it, which is what I was going to do. I was going to stop it. I was going to move on to something else, but it's sort of been carried on when it shouldn't have been. It's sort of like cheese, but when it's out of date. And cheese is already out of date anyway because it's mold, but when it becomes too moldy, it's unedible. And it's just at that point now. And the problem is now I've not got the police attention. The owner of the page is now getting it. And he's getting it bad. And it's just how I felt. It's not good. It's really not good. But that's what I'm saying, is when you're seeing that in the public eye on social media, I'm seeing a few, things, almost, I will say, past few weeks, good effort. But I have seen over the past sort of few months, I mean, sometimes a weekend after week, I have just constant problems. It's like, really, it's not going to help the car scene at all, because basically at some point, if this stuff keeps going on, it's going to get to the point where the police are going to do everything in their power to literally make meeting someone in a modified car illegal. And you're probably thinking, oh, blah, 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 blah. But literally stuff's coming into Bristol and into the southwest as we speak that's going to cause massive problems. If you don't believe me, don't listen to me, then just, I'll wait here for 6 months and say I told you so. But it's just mad. It's just crazy, And unfortunately, so the thing is, it's not unfortunate. The thing is, the page, Bristol City Car Meets is always going to be successful. Now, partly because of the effort I made for all those years to build that following. That was a big following. We went from 0 to 10,000. Well, I mean, just around 9,000 or so when I left. And that's just Bccmuk anyway. But it grew crazy. But since I've left, I would say it's definitely not the same as it used to be. Now, it doesn't mean it's not successful, because it seems to be doing very well. But I said I would put a lot of that potentially down to the fact that I put a lot of effort in to make that following in the first place. But then again, a lot of that is following that's new. So, it's still going well. But it's to question whether it's bringing people together for the right reasons is the question. But that is really it about the sort of up-to-date issues and problems that have been occurring in the past year since I've left. And it is a shame. But do you know what? Within that, there has been times where there hasn't been instances. So it's not all the time. I'm just saying, we don't want to be seeing it once a month. We don't want to be seeing it once every 6 months. We want to be seeing it not even once a year. We don't want to see it. But, whatever's going on at the meets, I'm hoping they can turn around. Because it's just dangerous. It really is. And the thing is just, again, I just sit here and people, say I'm bitter and things. I'm not. I just feel responsible. Like, I've got a big heart and I just feel responsible. I feel guilty for even making that page with the stuff that's currently going on. So when people moan about me out on it on social media, again, everyone has an opinion, but B, I feel like I want to, because I'm just disgusted in what the page has become when I'm seeing stuff like that. Like, it's just dreadful. It really is. But, there is still relative success and it is still going. So they're doing something right, of course, whether there are instances or not. And that is the end of this part about the problems since I've left. So what has been going on with me since I've left the page? Well, in my personal life, it's been like a wave of never-ending water. That's really crap. But yeah, it's just been a never-ending torrent of absolute bullshit, to be honest. So we won't talk about that. But in the car scene, collectively, in the past few months, because of my personal circumstances, I've been unable to attend a lot of stuff. So I have moved back down south home for a few years to study. And obviously with this, that means that I'm 2 hours away from everything I enjoy. That just means that it makes things a little bit more difficult. Now, obviously, I've not been able to go to much for the past few months due to income and moving home and all that sort of jazz. But that all changes literally at the end of this month once I'm paid, which is great, starting of new things. Now, in amongst that time, I did start a group called Car Clubs Combined. Probably heard of it for a very short spell. And that was to sort of go back out there and do what I wanted to do with BCCMUK, which I couldn't, which was to run a page where loads of clubs come together once a month and do a big me. And it ends up just being a great evening. Now, that was very short-lived because I just found myself getting back in the same situation again with the police. And it was just, like, pointless. Just got myself out of that. So what's the point in doing it again? No point. So that is where it ended there. And Limitless Media began and has been since. Now, again, for those people who used to come to BCCM back in the day, you'll know that I used to love the megaphone, of course, but I also used to love doing the video on the GoPro. You always see me running around looking like a total twat, and I still do now. But that is what's flourished, and you know what? I'm doing so much better now. The owner did always say to me, or the new owner did always say to me, I would regret my decision. And I can tell you now it's been the complete opposite. I'm very thankful for the people I've met, the opportunities I've been given with Channel 4. Look on my YouTube channel. There is actually a video of myself on Channel 4 back in the day as well. Madness that was. And it showed who real good friends and who real bad friends are. And the same in the car community. Groups have stayed, groups have gone. And it's quite mad how when you drop out of the car scene, you don't exist. You don't. And it very quickly shows you those people around you that are not of value to your life as well. It's yeah, it's a learning curve. It's hard. It's been hard. The transition out of BCCM UK was very hurtful. I'm sure it was for the owner as well. It wasn't easy for anyone. I'm not saying it's all bad for me. It's everyone else's fault. It's blimmin' hard, really hard. But yeah, you know, I'm on top of the world in relation to the car scene stuff anyway, and I'm just keen to be getting back out there and enjoying events. So if you didn't know, I travel to events now, travel to meets, because I get invited by groups and clubs to go over there and do the megaphone, have a little laugh, get a bit of video, blah blah blah, all that sort of thing. So that's what I do. I get over there, get video and enjoy the night. And the thing is now, there's just no onus and responsibility on me. You know, and when the police do come and say, oh, who's running the meet, blah blah blah, I just sat there for YouTube, and that is quite simply what I'm there for. I'm there as an attendee, not a host, and that is the difference. It's just blissful, you know, it is absolutely blissful, you know, and whatever repercussions there are of that evening, there's no sort of feeling of responsibility or worry about the police bashing down your door or whatever there might be because of it. So you can just go there, witness it, enjoy the evening, and go, even document it on YouTube. We have that as well. But that is it. It's just been blissful. So I'm glad I made the decision. It was difficult at the time, and there's been difficult patches, but wow, what a transformation. Things have been great. Not even lying to you. It's been mint. I'm just loving the channel. I do it as a hobby. It's not really amazing. We'll probably get about 2 views on here, I would imagine. Like my good friends, I expect, just watch it to listen to me chat crap. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of the things. Not many people watch it, but I don't do it, to make money. I don't make money from it, and I don't do it for any other reason but to help the car community. And you might think, well, how does that help, blah blah blah, but it all helps in different ways. The meets videos just sometimes expose the wrong stuff the police are doing. They also showcase good groups that are doing good meets, so people can go and travel to them. If people miss the night, they can watch it back. As long as the whole aim of it now with the media stuff is, as long as it helps one person, that's all that matters. And I know that with a lot of my RCZ content and a lot of my vehicle repairing and modification content, it helps people, and people really learn new things, and that's excellent. That's what we want to do. We want people to learn new things and be helped and moved by what they see online. So that is what I'm doing, and it's great. So we're going to finish off with a overview of everything, and that is that I'm thankful for the decision I made. I don't regret it in the slightest. Although it's been difficult, things are great, and I'm excited for what the future holds for my page, Limitless Media UK _. And as things progress with my new career, I'm super excited to see what that brings. There's gonna be so much new stuff, so much welding content to come next year. It's gonna be amazing. And I can't wait, because there's just so much going on. It's like a slow burner, and I sit here and say my videos weekly, wait for this, and you're sat there thinking, oh, Lou, it's every week you say the same stuff, and it's really annoying, but there is stuff coming. It's just got to be patient with time. It will. I've got a really amazing opportunity, incredible opportunity in December so flattered. I'm so flattered to be given the opportunity to do that. I can't believe it. So an amazing thing is going on in December. Cannot wait. I'm so blessed. And you know, we've got all sorts of content coming this month. It's just never ending. It's great. It really is. So that is about everything I need to say in this video. So we'll finish off with the finishing piece. So to finish off here with this final part of this video, thank you for all those that are still here and haven't fallen asleep just yet. So the police are cracking down hard on the car scene in the Bristol, and indeed on the owner of Bristol City Carnage UK. So it's going to make things difficult at a point for it to carry on. And I really hope that he'll watch this video and maybe think about reconsidering his options in regards to the page, and just make some changes for the better of it, really. I am still waiting. I don't know what's going to come first, dying or getting my Facebook page back, but I'm still waiting for that. If you could sort that would be great. Thank you. But in the meantime, yeah, it's just going to make things really difficult. So just hope there can be a sort of a plan for them to resolve that, really. And hopefully from now on, this will be the last time I ever have to mention them on my channel and my YouTube. This is the final conversation, the final chapter for those guys. You know, and it's never going to be it's never going to be a chapter that I'll ever forget. It was an experience. Met some interesting people, which some of those I'm still friends with today, and I'm very lucky to be. So those that stuck through from BCCMUK, I love you all dearly. And I'm still glad to know that a lot of people that weren't friends before were now friends because of the page. You know, it was great. And the car limbo and the music and the water slide at Tog Hill and all the little things we did, the music nights and stuff. It was worth it. We gave some people some great memories and we had some excellent times. But we're here and now, and things are very different. And again, I'm thankful for those that have transferred across from there, that are still going or aren't, and are still joining me, attending what I do, and following me on what I do. I appreciate it. Thank you. And for those who are part of BCCMUK and the owners and so forth, you won't have to hear me mention your names, or your page, in fact, again, because hopefully you'll sort things out, or the police will deal with it. I don't know what the future holds for that page, but just sort it out, because I feel responsible still for the stuff that goes on, you know. And I shouldn't do, but I do. I feel somewhat bad. And as part of this video, I want to apologise to you directly, that have been affected by the actions of myself or my page over those years of running BCCMUK. I apologise to those group owners, those club owners, any of those people that we've caused a problem, upset and issues to. I rightfully apologise, and there's nothing I can ever really do to take back or to make up for what I've done. But there is indeed my apology. You can see by my actions of leaving and changing my life around that I mean what I'm saying to you guys. You know, it can never be changed. And unfortunately, you know, the name is still there and still going, which is still causing problems for me, believe it or not. Even though I'm not even directly involved with it, I've still got police contacting me. I've still got people that give me weird looks, give me hate, etc. Because I still think I'm part of that, and I'm not. You know, it's just, the name needs to change. It is a shattered, destroyed name. It needs to change. But anyway, no more, because I'll just repeat myself for another 50 minutes of video, which I'm sure you don't want to hear. But there we are. You've got the answer. I mean, you had the answer in the first 10 seconds, but you stayed here for the whole time, so well done to you. Well done. You get a gold medal from me to you, for you to me. So yeah, that is it. That is the end. The saga is done. It's been a year, and it's just going to get better and better. So Good luck to those who are still running the page, and you know, it's still going for you and it's still going well, so keep up what you're doing, just minus the crashes and things, but you know, you can't always help that, unfortunately. So there we are. This video is now done, and thank you for letting me update you about my past year and what led up to me leaving BCCM UK. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys again very soon.